Phoenix, Arizona, the Valley of the Sun and wide open western skies. Also the land of wide open racing. 3 years ago, the NASCAR Truck Series began its run at Phoenix International Raceway. Mike Skinner captured the first 2 victories, and the last 3 have been dominated by the current points leader. And Jack Sprague is going to win again. 4th career win. With number 24, Jeff Gordon, going for his 2nd Winston Cup title. The other 24 is out to win his 1st. Mile Track Jack, his own Phoenix, today could take the final steps toward the 97 championship. But look out for Rich Bickle. Cut the points lead to 121. Now it's crunch time. Just 2 races remain. The Mile Track Jack knows best. Plays a pivotal role on the way to the championship. Nearly 50,000 have gathered here at Phoenix International Raceway. Diamond luster weather, temperature in the 80s as we settle down for the next to last Craftsman truck race of 1997. A field of 36 competitors to go today in the Goodwrench Delco Battery 300. Live on the Superstation, battling for some $313,000 here in the desert. Down to it. Championship to be decided perhaps today. And the man that can decide it is down on pit road. Alan Bestwick is standing by with him.
Ken, Jack Sprague is the championship leader with 2 races to go, a 121-point lead over the 2nd place driver. He's won the last 3 straight races here at Phoenix, and he's a very hard-charging driver by nature. He faces somewhat of a dilemma here today. Does he charge hard and go for a 4th straight win, or does he try and protect that point lead? Jack, what do you do?
I don't know. What do we do? Well, I'll tell you that the guys have done a great job again. This is the same truck we've won the last 2 races here with, so the Quaker State Chevrolet is running good, and if it's as good as I think it is, then, you know, maybe we can win this thing without having a whole lot of battling going on. But if I got to do heavy battle, it's not worth it. You know, the big picture of the championship for Hendrick Motorsports and Quaker State and this team who's worked awful hard all year to get it. So, you know, it's kind of a double-bladed sword. We'll just have to see how good we are, and then we'll do what we have to do.
All right, Jack, good luck today. Jack starts 8th. Let's go hear from the man who's chasing him for the championship. He's with Steve Burns.
And, Alan, that's Rich Bickle. The numbers for number 17, 24 starts, 17 top 10s, and 3 wins. But, Rich, we're down to it, as we heard a minute ago, 121 points. What do you do?
Well, I guess you got to have a lot of luck right now. You know, we're pretty much, you know, stuck behind the 8 ball here a little bit. But, you know, we've had a great year. No matter what happens, I mean, we're here to have some fun right now. And the pressure on them guys, it's not on us. So the whole thing is if we can get in here and, you know, if they have a bad day right off the bat, and we have a shot at it. If they don't, they finish good here, it's pretty much off the season. But we've had a great year, and that's all that counts.
All right, best of luck. And joining us on pit road for expert analysis is the crew chief, Larry McReynolds.
Well, Steve, when you think about momentum on the truck series, you think about the 2 truck of Mike Bliss. He sat on the pole for today's race with a new track record. His 3rd straight pole and 6th for the year. Nobody else can take that crown of the most poles this year from him. He also won the last race that they run at Fontana 2 weeks ago. So, Ken, if momentum means anything, the 2 truck with Mike Bliss will be at the front today.
And a lot of people figure that's just what's going to happen. That Mike Bliss, when they have him covered today, he loves this track and has run well here in Silver Crown. Hello, everybody. Ken Squire with you, along with Buddy Baker and Darrell Waltrip. And let's get right to it, Baker. What about this battle for the championship today?
You know, Ken, Jack Sprague has a 121-point lead. You would think that is a great advantage, but that can be wiped out in one corner. He wants a cushion of 20 points at least when he leaves here, so all he has to do is start next week in Las Vegas. Hey, that's a big order, though.
All right, now let's talk about another battle with Darrell Waltrip. Congratulations, Darrell, at 19th qualifying position for tomorrow. But the rookie battle here in this series this year has been exceptional.
Well, it has. They got 3 great rookies in Kenny Irwin, who has won 2 races, so you'd think he maybe has a leg up. But if you look, they're 11th, 12th, and 13th in the points. So Stacy Compton and Rick Crawford are still in the hunt as far as that championship goes for the rookie. Big honor. Everybody wants that. And there's 3 hot drivers. They're going to be fun to watch. And speaking of hot, boy, do we have a hot afternoon here. It's near 90. These trucks haven't been on the track in this kind of condition. They were out early in the morning. They were out late in the afternoon. A lot of guys are worried about setup and gear ratio for the race, so we'll have to see how that unfolds as well.
We'll watch it all unfold in just a few moments right here on TBS, the Superstation. Stay with us. Oh, some leftovers, some Halloween out here today. Wild. Back Back live with you at Phoenix, GM Goodwrench, Delco battery, 300K. Ready to be around the field, rolling out. And it's a 3-lap roll-off as we take a look at the weather here today. Temperature at 80 degrees.
That must have been about 7 this morning.
And humidity's at 20. Winds are just about perfect. Got a little, almost a little bit of a breeze, but not almost. Just sort of, it's perfect. You couldn't have a better day for a race than what we have here in Phoenix right now as the field rolls down at turn number 1. This 1,100-foot straightaway, that big D on the back, about 1,500 feet. Let's take a look at the starting grid for today. Mike Bliss is there with a new track record, and right alongside is Brian Refner for the first time this year. In row 2, you have Ron Hornaday, the all-time Truck Series winner, and young Steve Park really put it on in qualifying. Stacy Compton, the outstanding rookie, and Jack Sprague going for the championship. That's row 3. Row 4 is a great mile racer. That's Joe Ruttman, and Rich Bickle is right there, second in points, 3 wins this year. Row 5 is Chuck Bound and Rick Carilli. For row 6, you've got Jimmy Hensley and Kenny Irwin, winner at Homestead in Texas. Row 7's Ron Barfield and Brian Cunningham. For row 8, Dave Resendez is there with new colors today, and Andy Houston. Row 9 is Mike Wallace, runner-up 2 weeks ago at California, and Terry Cook flanks him. Row 10, Joe Bessie from New England driving for A.J. Foyt and Barry Bodine. Randy Talsma, who had that great upset victory at Bakersfield, is on the inside of row 11 with Tony Raines alongside. Row 12, Butch Miller, Toby Butler there. Row 13, Rick McRae, another of those good rookies. Rick Crawford there. Then in row 14, Lonnie Rush and Bobby Dotter. Row 15, Mike Dillon and Bob Keselowski. Jay Saunders in row 16, the winner at New Hampshire back in May. And Boris said, in row 17, it's Tony Roper and Doug George. And out back is Tom Herbert and Kevin Harvick as we get ready to go racing. AutoZone race analysis today looks like this. And you see it, we posted awards. Jack Sprague has just about done it all here on this track, buddy.
Well, he has, and you know, they called him one-track Jack when he was winning over at Concord on a weekly basis. Then they called him mile-track Jack when he started winning on the mile track. Now they just call him racer.
Yeah, well, you know, it's bad news for Bickle because he's had a great year on short tracks. His 3 wins have been on all the short tracks, Martinsville and others, but Sprague's has been on the bigger racetracks like Phoenix. So this is kind of laid out for Jack Sprague. It's Sprague's advantage today, if you ask me.
Look at that crowd in here for today's race. Mike Bliss on the pole is going to give us some great shots today.
What a great camera angle. Look at Ron Hornaday here. He's got a camera on board.
Tommy Hubert with that Dana Corporation, new driver for that number 18. They swapped that. That's a 6 different driver there this year. And here's Bob Keselowski for the Chrysler fans with that Mopar Performance camera, winner this year. Boris said with the Federated Auto Parts folks, he's going to carry a camera for us as well today. And Jimmy Hensley in the Cummins engine, number 43. And there's Boris starting well toward the back of the field, 32nd. And they sent a flock of cars home from this event. Trucks.
That's $2, please.
Bob Lanier, Randy Nelson, Lance Norwick out of Oklahoma City. Billy Pouch didn't make it. Eddie Sharp, Bill Wilburn. Here we go, getting ready for green. 186 laps the distance. Next to last race of the year, they're down to it. Mike Bliss brings them across the line. 3 wide into turn number 1.
Here comes Hornaday on the inside there. You can see him in the 16 truck trying to take the lead as they come off turn 2.
Well, that Hornaday now, will he poke and gouge on them restarts or what? He's going to get a piece of it if he can.
Double them up just behind that front machine coming around to complete lap number 1. It's going to be Bliss to bring them across. Mike Bliss stays in front. And it's everybody in there. Steve Park holds on to 4th. He dodges right in there behind Hornaday into turn 1. That's Steve Park.
Boy, the Hornaday and the Park, they got a couple of fast trucks there. They're both running real well right there in 3rd and 4th spot right now.
The green truck just behind the 2 blue trucks there. That's Jack Sprague making a move on the outside in the green as we ride along with Hornaday as he comes off turn 4.
Valley fly. This 1,100-foot straightaway. And peel off. Give it a little break. Take a set. Go down here into turn number 1. See Chuck Bound of the 99 trying to weasel down to the inside and move inside of Rich Bickle. I think he's got a spot there.
Yeah, I think he does. That's when you get down on the inside like that, if you got any horsepower at all, you can usually hold that guy off at the back straightaway there.
Daryl, they say it's 9 degrees in these corners on the far end there. They're coming through that corner now. It feels like it's flat when you're out there running.
Yeah, it does. The trucks really pick up a bad arrow push off of turn 4. And if you watch the trucks off that corner, they'll get to bobbling, weaving, darting all over the place because they're fighting the push.
See Jack Sprague in the number 24, the green machine, trying to find his way around.
You know, that's an unusual position for Sprague to be in here at Phoenix because he's always started on the front row and usually is the truck to beat here. And looks like he's got his work cut out for him today.
Currently 5th. You see him nosing down to the inside as they peel off into turn number 1. Uphill a little here. Very difficult track because it doesn't match up.
You can see Steve Park looking on the inside of Hornaday as they started off the corner there. He may have the faster truck, but I'm sure he's going to give Hornaday every break.
Yeah,
Tony Raines in that 19 is off the pace, fellas. He's dropping back. Raines falling back in the number 19 Pennzoil truck.
I'm sure team orders on that 16 and 76 truck is to let Hornaday have all the brakes he needs.
Sprague working on the back. Here's the 33 in and out early on Mike Dillon. Refner sends right to his knitting with a 66. Meanwhile, Bliss stays up in front. Hornaday in 3rd, Park in 4th, followed by Sprague, Compton, and Ruttman at the present time.
What makes Sprague so good here is his truck really handles on the straightaway. That's what makes him good here.
700 horsepower in these trucks, and I tell you what, they really go. They're not that far off the Winston Cup times.
No, they're not. And you're right, buddy. They have 700 horsepower, and they get every bit of it put to the earth with these big old trucks. It's hard. It's just fascinating to watch a truck go around the track as fast as these do. And they're fun to drive. I mean, the 112-inch wheelbase, the way the trucks are aerodynamically balanced now, they're fun to drive. They got a lot of rear spoiler on them.
Looks like Park might be running interference there for Hornaday.
I think he's holding Sprague up to some degree, which, in all honesty, that's okay with me.
Working lap 8 of 186. And Mike Bliss is driving away. There you see the interval as he begins to really draw a bead here. He's got Refner covered by 1 2/10 seconds.
I talked to Mike Bliss about the motor in this truck, and he said it was 50 horsepower better than anything they've had this year. And I said, that makes it awesome. Brian Refner in 2nd there is doing a great job. As you see, Hornaday and Steve Park still running nose to tail. Sprague looking on both sides, trying to go.
Up that back straightaway on the outside, that's where that horsepower really comes into play.
Here comes Sprague on the outside.
Making his stick on the outside, that might be a different story.
The mile master, Jack Sprague, up on the outside here as we watch on TBS this next to last battle of 1997. With over 50,000 looking on, the place sold out. 104,000 they expect tomorrow here at this Phoenix International Raceway, and they continue to make improvements on this facility. Just incredible.
Well, that tells you what Jack Sprague's going to do. He's going to race today and let the points fall where they may. He's already moved up. He's in the 3rd spot now and doing a very good job. Make it 4th.
Yeah, and in all honesty, I'm watching Rich, and he's not making any progress. He lost a little bit he lost a couple of spots. He might be waiting. I'm not sure. Don't have a radio up here. I can't say.
Compton in the 86 put on a great show at Louisville earlier this season. He's got Ruttman covered for the moment and looks really strong right here. Looking further back, there you see Rick Corelli as he begins to wind his way up through the field. Steve Burns has more.
And Ken, he has an unusual piece of equipment in that number 6 truck today. As Darrell Waltrip said, it is flat hot here in Phoenix, Arizona. The crew has installed an air conditioner in Corelli's truck. The crew chief, Rick Wrench, some of the unit cost about $5,000, but if it can help Corelli stay fresh to the end, he says it's all worth it.
11th spot is Rick Corelli right now, the High Plains drifter. drifting around this 1 mile track.
Now, Baker, I got to tell you something. That's the best news I've heard lately. An air conditioner in a race car. How about you?
Well, they put power steering in there for the guys, and then now they have air conditioning. Next thing will be a power seat, adjustable seat in one.
I hate every bit of that, too. You know what?
Mike Wallace now 10th. He started 17th. That's the truck just barely in front of Rick Corelli.
That's the 52 truck there. You can see him on the inside trying to move up. You see Joe Ruttman in the yellow truck there giving Stacy Thompson a little nudge. Here comes Jack Sprague looking on the inside for third. Couldn't quite make it.
You notice how much respect Sprague gives to Hornaday? He had that nose down there, but he didn't drive it on in there because he knows Hornaday is a racer, and you better have that truck all the way alongside of him if you're going to go in the corner with him.
So the front of the field remains Bliss in front, and he continues to pull away by now more than 2 seconds. Refner maintaining third. Hornaday and Sprague in their own war for third spot, followed by Park. Then you have Compton and Rutland, Dowd, and Bickle. Back there in that 10th spot was Mike Wallace. Corelli stays 11th, and Irwin, the rookie with 2 victories this season, stays 12th on the field. Ron Barfield is in 13th. Jimmy Hensley 14th.
That truck of Kenny or of Mike Bliss's.
Oh!
What happened?
They like to hit. Here comes Sprague now pulling even going into turn 1.
He is giving that one a ride. Hornaday pulls away just a bit. Back comes Sprague on the inside.
Well, that'll be decided when they go down into turn 3. You see on the outside, Hornaday fighting hard. Jack Sprague on the inside now. Whoa, they got very close. Hornaday just nerved him and went right on in on the outside, and that just drove a little bit harder into the corner. Sprague felt better going down in there side by side.
Yeah, he's not. Hornaday's not going to give you anything. I can tell you that.
He took it away that time, and big Sprague relegated back into that 4th position another time.
And if Bliss can see him in his rearview mirror, he's loving all of that because he's just pulling away. And I was going to say about his truck, that thing in California was about as awesome as anything I've seen compared to the rest of the competition until today. And I believe he's better today than he was in California. Of course, you know he won that race.
I'm impressed with this run by Brian Refner thus far, up in 2nd spot, right behind this ding-dong battle for 3rd spot. Refner as the guy he wants as crew chief now. About 2 days ago, Wes Bach came in, and of course that lad comes with a great reputation. His father was a tremendous racer, and that's the guy that helped Refner win the ASA title. He thinks he's going to make it turn all the way around. They've been running better down at Bakersfield. Brian Refner qualified 3rd, starts outside of the front row today. Here's Sprague back on the inside.
Ken, what's happening now is the tires are getting a lot of heat in them right now, and they're beginning to slip a little bit. The better chassis will move to the front, and until they make their stop, they will not be able to adjust on these trucks. So the good trucks are going to come to the front.
And halftime was going to come around lap number 93, between lap 90 and 100. And they're not being specific on that. They're going to be a little bit open about when they're going to take that halftime break for 5 minutes. There's the man out in front. It's Bliss leading by 3 seconds, blistering this Phoenix track.
Weekends.
Live riding with Mike Bliss, better than 3-second advantage at the present time over Brian Refner. Big change in the positions, however. Jack Sprague has jumped up one. He's taken Hornaday, who continued to get looser. There you see the major storylines at the moment. Sprague with that advantage in points, trying to put Rich Bickle away, who's currently 12th. The fuel strategy story. Alan Bestwick can tell us more about that right now.
Ken, it's very, very marginal whether these trucks can go to the halfway break, the mid-race break, on the fuel they started out with. If a caution comes out, now that we're past the 20-lap mark, you'll see most every one of the trucks dive down pit road and take on a splash of fuel to be able to go to the mid-race break. It's tricky because they don't know at what lap between 90 and 100 that mid-race break will come. That'll also come into play in the second half of the race, depending on how early in that window the mid-race break comes. They may not be able to go to the finish on the fuel they take on board then. Fuel mileage going to be very tricky throughout the course of this event.
Fuel mileage could be the major story. What about tires on today's race, guys?
Yeah, they got to run, you know, almost 100 miles on these tires. That's a long way to go on one set of tires. So tire management is very, very critical. And there goes Sprague by
Let me add to that on the tires. There is no tire rule because you can't change tires. The only way you can take on a tire is a 5-lap penalty. If you come in and change any tire on that truck without it being cut or spinning out, maybe it going flat, you get a 5-lap penalty per tire. So they won't be changing tires until the halfway break.
Sprague just went by Refner there for second place, and I know that shot back at Bliss there a while ago. You could tell why he was leading the race, buddy, because he was just sitting there kind of on the cruise. He wasn't fighting the wheel, he wasn't doing anything but pulling away from everybody else.
Well, Bliss is so smooth. He's run here in Silver Crown race and had success. Right now we're seeing Joe Bessie bring A.J. Foyt's number 50 down onto pit road. It's a one-race deal for Bessie in the Foyt truck. Bliss stayed in front. He has 3 and 4/10 seconds. He had 3.6. Sprague is beginning to chew into that lead right now. Refner stays 3rd, Hornaday 4th, Rutland 5th, Park to 6th, and Compton in 7th. Mike Wallace continuing to move up through the field.
Ken, this 80 truck with Joe Rutland's also on the move. You can see him. He's caught Steve Park now, trying to move right on up. And he's already moved up into 5th spot there, so he's doing a great job.
Yeah, and Rutland had 2nd here the last time out. He qualified 7th for today's race. Looking good.
Yeah, he's fighting by Hornaday there going down the back, and I believe he may have him.
You see Joe really getting down into turn 3 there. You can see the truck get a little backslide there, but you can see that Park just moved over and let him go.
2 road race wins this year for Joe Rutland. Looking very strong here.
Well, we run 30 laps, Ken, and the tires now are, you know, making some, there's transition in the tires. The tire build up and the setup is certainly going to be key from here on.
Alan Bestwick.
Just after the start, Joe Rutland's crew radioed him, said, Joe, in the second half of this race, keep this in mind. We already have our Las Vegas truck ready, and back at the shop, we don't need this truck the rest of this year. Let's go get us another one. Joe Rutland has that to remember when he goes into the second half of this race.
I think they gave the same message to Sprague. Jack Sprague running for the championship. No conservatism here. He's flying.
No, I think the bigger surprise here would be if he didn't run well, Ken. I mean, you got to realize he's won 3 races here. So I think the bigger surprise to me would be if he had a bad day. I think, and we couldn't depend on that, or we couldn't bank on that. We knew that going in.
You see Joe Rutland in the yellow Ford coming down the front straightaway. Just behind him, it looks like a Hornaday car. For those that just joined the telecast, they're painted exactly, but that is Steve Park, and you'll have to take our word on that being number 76 and not number 16.
Joe Rutland, he is definitely closing up. He's had good finishes here in the past on this track. It looks like he may be in for another. Likes these mile facilities, and they sure like these trucks.
Well, you take Bliss and Rutland and Corelli and some of these guys, they run a lot of Southwest Tour races here. They have lots and lots of laps on this racetrack, so they're very comfortable when they come here.
The thing that's changed, however, is when Jack Sprague first started out in these trucks, he had some additional experience down here in Phoenix. Now those other folks having an opportunity to run some other miles and mile and a half, they've really gathered up some experience to challenge him. But right now, he looks like he's the man of the hour. Look at Stacy Compton getting some real pressure out there. That's Mike Wallace continuing his assault.
Yeah, these trucks are running side by side. When they go down into turn 1, there's no preferred line, but you see the inside there. Mike Wallace made the pass easily. I think what Stacy Compton realized is he was out of position there and just moved over.
8th position now for Wallace. Compton back to 9th. Foyt truck is on pit road again with Joe Bessie, and Steve Burns can tell us more.
And Joe Bessie on pit road. They've had a plug wire come off. Kevin Harvick is pitting right in front of him. And Ken, I can tell you, we just heard Stacy Compton radio in and said, I feel like I lost a valve spring early in the race. Of course, Stacy Compton in the middle of that tight rookie battle.
Well, the pace of the race has slowed down almost 2 seconds, Ken. They qualified at 28.18 or 127 miles an hour. Right now, they're running almost 30 seconds flat around this racetrack, so the pace has slowed way down.
Valve springs seem to be the Achilles heel on some of these rigs when they're running these miles.
Well, they run the roller camshaft, and the roller cam is very violent on the valve train. It makes a lot of power, and that's how it can make 700 horsepower. But also, they're very hard on the valve springs and the valves themselves. You maintain RPM a long way down these straightaways, and that's hard on the engine and the valve train.
We've now completed some 37 laps. Bliss is leading, but that lead has been cut substantially. It's 1.5 seconds between Bliss and Sprague, and he just keeps on rolling up through this mile facility, closing in on the leader, Jack Sprague, ever closer. You're looking at Compton here in the 86, and right with him is coming the 99.
Yeah, that's Chuck
Goodwrench
Bound.
today.
Yeah, Chuck Bound's running very well, and just behind him, Rick Corelli in the second.
We'll take a break and be back to Phoenix, Arizona for more NASCAR Craftsman truck racing. Again on the Gila River, Phoenix, Arizona. And that river is getting a new bridge for about $12 million. It's going to make a big difference. 5 lanes coming into this track for the future. And when that happens, another 30,000 seats are going to be added to this track. It's become a racing institution. How about this? Look at Sprague closing in on that leader, Bliss.
Boy, I tell you, camera shots tell everything there. You can see Jack Sprague much quicker getting down in the corner than the 2-car of Mike Bliss. Yeah, 2 bucks. Anyhow, look at Sprague. How much quicker he is there on the bottom. He's getting in the corner tremendously well.
Joe Bessie is out of the race. Steve Burns is with him.
And Ken, he's taking a weekend off from his regular duty in a Busch Grand National car. Joe, what put you out today?
Something broke in the motor, dropped the cylinder. Big disappointment. Just disappointed for Power Team, disappointed for AJ and his boys. They just were out here to have a little fun, and I wish they could have got him a better finish. But the truck was running good, and I think Schrader's going to drive it next week at Las Vegas, and should be a lot of fun for them. And just wish they could have got a better finish for him.
All right, Joe, let's go back to the battle with Mike Bliss and Jack Sprague.
And it is a battle up in front as they work the 46 of 186 laps. 300 kilometers here at Phoenix today, and they're averaging well over 120 miles per hour. The race record is 95.2, and it was established just a year ago by Sprague.
Yeah, you know, haven't had a caution flag. They're, you know, just hard racing, and nobody's really had a problem so far. It makes me wonder, you know, seeing Bliss kind of run away from Sprague every now and then, if they're not being a little on the conservative side as well. Plus, I think he's changed his line just a little bit around the track.
Kenny Irwin back here in 5th spot. Ian Hornaday at it. Meanwhile, back up in front where it was 3 seconds. It's now 3 truck lengths between Mike Bliss and number 2, the Barry Dotson prepared truck, and that number 24. Ford against Chevy here at Phoenix, Arizona on a Saturday afternoon.
You can see Bliss better off the corner. Looks like Jack Sprague may be better at the far end of the straightaway, but his key suit right now in the 24 truck, he can turn down in turns 1 and 2 and take the bottom line, and Bliss cannot do that at the moment.
Bliss has got so much power up off the corner. That's where he seems to be really strong, like you said, buddy. And that high line frees him up some, too. It'll let him come off there with a little bit more momentum, but he don't want to let Sprague get alongside of him right there.
One set of tires.
Oh, trouble. Turn 4.
Got one spinning, looping, goes the 88. And you're going to see a caution, I believe, as Terry Cook goes around. No, they pick it up, and the flag does not come out. He's able to continue, and we have...
Well, we had a change for the lead and all that, too.
Somebody on that headset, and that was all that Sprague needed as he darted down through.
Yeah, Sprague took advantage of that, and Bliss backed off because he thought there was going to be a caution, and Sprague never checked up, and he took the lead.
So Sprague is now out in front, and he leads by 4 truck lengths over Bliss, with Refner 3rd and Ruttman 4th. Kenny Irwin Jr., number 98, comes up in the 5th spot. Hornaday back to 6th. Steve Clark falls to 7th. Mike Wallace has come to 8th, and in 9th is Chuck Bound. Stacy Compton falling back to 10th. Caution's out. Yellow's down at lap number 49.
Yeah, you know, the spotters did an awful good job that time of helping those guys get through that wreck, but everybody was anticipating the caution. That was right up in the middle of the racetrack.
Sprague taking advantage of the number 24 as he tries to go for his 4th win in a row. Of course, that's a new truck record on a super speedway. It would tie, as far as Winston Cup is concerned, the Dale Earnhardt mark and the Bill Elliott mark. Elliott at Michigan, Earnhardt at Talladega for 4 in a row on a super speedway. Take a look again at what happened up here under the bridge.
Okay, you see Terry Cook there in the 88. That's just after he spun round and round. It put up a lot of smoke. Truck scrambling back there trying to get around.
Yeah,
there's your lead change.
Yeah, that green truck.
And there you see that green truck coming into the frame. Tail end of that. That is the lead truck. And that made the difference. Sprague just would not lift.
Okay, you see the 88 there. He's down on the bottom part of the racetrack. The back of the truck starts around. You can see he gets around there, and you're riding with Ron Keselowski as he goes to the high side, barely misses him.
Yeah, the 88 did a good job. You know, he kept the power down, buddy, and let that thing come on around, and that kept it from backing up in the racetrack in front of everybody. So that was smart on his part. But the spotters are really the ones that did a great job in that case.
Terry Cook in the 88 brings out the first caution of the day as he spins. Took a lap or two before it came down. Sprague takes over out in front in his drive for the championship. Lap number 54, and we're back under green after the first caution of the day. Setting the pace, it's Jack Sprague going for his 4th in a row on this track. As they begin to roll him out there, got a change. Here's Rush getting into the lead.
Yeah, he didn't. I don't think he pitted on that gas stop there for everybody. Everybody made a pit stop, took gas on that caution. I don't believe Rush pitted, but you know, by the same token, he's pulling out a little lead there, buddy.
Yeah, that's Lonnie Rush Jr. I tell you what, he's going right along here, and that is the good part. Some stopped for fuel and made adjustments on the chassis, but he wanted track position. You can see it's paying off for him right now. He's at the head of the class and moving very well.
Yeah, well, everybody's, you know, tires, they don't change tires. So really the only thing they did is took on a little fuel. So, you know, he's probably in pretty good shape.
First time that Rush has led this year off this caution. Not the only one not to pit. Right behind him is Sprague in second, Ruttman third, followed by Hornaday. With more, here's Alan Bestwick.
The pit stop for Jack Sprague, Ken, was just a splash of fuel. No adjustments whatsoever, no air pressure, no wedge adjustments, just a splash of fuel. Joe Ruttman's team made a minor chassis adjustment and a splash of fuel. He actually picked up a position on pit road. Mike Bliss, who came in second, fell back to third while his team made their service. Let's go to Steve Burns.
Alan, a good stop for Rich Bickle in the 17 as he chases Jack Sprague. He came in 12th and went out 8th. They made a chassis adjustment to tighten it up, and a huge advantage on a gas stop. The gas man is Frank Hugo, who has been the gas man for A.J. Foyt. He's one of the best. And now let's go to Larry McReynolds.
Well, Steve, what this caution did, it let all the trucks come in and get that little bit of fuel that they felt like they may need to run this first segment in case that halftime break come past what they could run on fuel. Now, in the case of Mike Bliss, they also took advantage and took 2 rounds of bite in that car. Barry Dodson told me he had been real loose in turn 1 and 2, was pretty good in 3 and 4, so they took that bite in to try to tighten Mike Bliss up. Ken?
Lonnie Rush stays in front, buddy.
Yes, he is, and Jack Sprague in the 24 has tried 2 or 3 times on the inside, but we have a new guy up there. Joe Ruttman has moved into 3rd place there. He's very tight on these 2. Here comes Sprague on the inside.
Didn't get through. Still there in second spot. Lonnie Rush putting on a great show. Look at Mike Bliss back here. Whoa, running in 6th. Whoa.
Now that's a driver that's being a little impatient. I think he's unhappy with his pit stop. He wanted to press the issue and get back to the front.
Mike
Probably
Dillon
not happy with where he is right now because he lost a lot of track position.
Guy that lost a lot of positions, Darrell, on pit road. Steve Park went from 7th when he came in back to 24th when he came out.
Oh, wow.
Lonnie Rush stays up in front. 31 rigs still in this lead lap. And Rush, the big surprise, staying out there. Don't know what he's got for tires. But boy, they sure are holding him right in there. Take a look at where we've been. We've had 3 leaders thus far. The lead swapped a couple of times, but that's not indicative of the competition we've been seeing. Big rundown. Bliss had a lead of 3.5 seconds. Sprague ran him down. Now Sprague is having trouble with a guy who is leading for the first time this year, Lonnie Rush.
I think what that proves, Ken, is what us drivers talk about all the time, track position. the 10 trucks in front, and Sprague's having a hard time getting around him. That's track position.
Look at Kenny Irwin Jr. going by Mike Bliss, going down into turn 1. The 98 truck there really showing some muscle down the front straightaway.
For 6th spot.
Boy, I don't know. Bliss is off the pace. I don't think he's running quite as good as he was. Maybe there's something wrong with the engine, or maybe they made a chassis adjustment there. I'm not sure. Maybe we can find out down in the pits.
Resendez with new colors on the 55 brings out a new sponsor for next year. You see him right there. Jay Sauter on the inside in the number 3 truck. They're back out of the top 18 at the present time. They'll continue to try to get themselves back into this race.
Well, we've seen that
Jay Sauter is in 18th, correction, and Resendez is 19th.
We've seen that 3 truck run like the Jack the Bear here and won the initial race here a couple of years ago. And Sauter had to start 31st, so they have not had a very good weekend as of yet.
Well, you're riding along here. You see Petty on the back of that truck. That can only mean that Jimmy Hensley, we're riding with him, looking back at a great race just behind him.
Jimmy Hensley in 20th spot. There's Randy Tulsma.
Yeah, the California winner.
Yeah. I heard a great story about Randy Tulsma out there, that he forgot to say Chevrolet about in Victory Lane. They didn't pay him the $10,000. You know, the bonus you get from them. I think his mechanic did, but he didn't get the money from the Chevy folks. He will definitely say Chevy if he wins again.
Let it go on record. Darrell Waltrip never made a mistake like that in his life. Not when $10,000 was involved.
I got it. I got my cheat sheet. I got it on the back of my glove.
Brian Refner at it. What a show he's put on today.
Look at Hornaday. He's moving up now. You see him underneath underneath the yellow line there on the bottom part of the racetrack. That's a flat surface down there, Darrell.
Yeah, it is. And you get those left side tires on there, sometime it'll shoot you right up to the wall or into the car or truck that's beside you. So that's a dangerous move.
The Napa camera giving you these pictures. Ron Hornaday doesn't like to give you these pictures. He thought he had Refner covered. Oh, look at this. Lonnie Rush gets mowed down by Jack Sprague.
Yeah, he got caught going through the dog leg on the back straightaway. There is a turn in the back. Sprague got the advantage there, but look at Lonnie Rush. He's hanging right in there.
Well, Rush is handling a little bit better in the turns, but I got to say it again. It's that straightaway speed that Sprague has going for him.
Lonnie Rush doing an outstanding job. He hasn't had that much of an opportunity. This is his first start since Milwaukee in July. They ran a little thin on cash, and he's staying right up here in front of Joe Ruttman in 2nd spot right now.
Ruttman gave him a little wake-up call there down in turn 2 also. Hello, I'm back here.
There you see the numbers on Jack Sprague's number 24 Chevrolet in front. Lead of about 1/10 of a second here.
I think that one at the bottom is the telltale right there. Yeah. If you were thinking about beating him for the championship, 100% completed all the laps that he's run here. So that's pretty impressive.
Ruttman has done that as well, and he lies 3rd right now in that number 80.
I'm just wondering what happened to the 2 truck, because as dominant as he was, boy, he's just followed. I mean, he hadn't made any kind of run toward the front.
Ken, look at this. Kenny Irwin Jr. And we have a fight here between Bliss on the bottom, and you see Hornaday on the outside there. As they go down in the corner, Bliss is trying to get a good run up out of the corner. Looks to have great run, but the outside groove seems to be quicker coming off the corner.
That's what happens here, buddy. That outside groove will work for you. You'll be able to carry more speed off of these flat corners if you can run up a little higher coming off.
Tight from the middle of the corner off on this racetrack, right, Darrell?
Yeah, that's what you fight. These straightaways allow you to carry a lot of speed into the corner, but the things won't turn, and so they slide up the hill, and then you got to really fight getting it turned off the corner to keep it off. If you had a camera on that wall off of turn 2, guys will scrape that wall the whole day. Just, I mean, right out next to it with the dust flying right off that corner.
Phoenix stripe.
You can get one very easily here.
Well, I can tell you one thing. Joe Ruttman turned up the heat on 2nd place there. He's trying to get 2nd place away from Lonnie Rush, but he can't quite get it. Lonnie Rush has a very good truck.
Meanwhile, Jack Sprague stays up in front with 2 races to go coming into today. What do you have to do to win this championship, Jack?
If we can continue to win here like we have in the past, where I don't have to get in a major situation, then that's what we're going to try to do. But if we get to where we're having to race off a hard S, we're not going to gain anything by that. So, you know, we got to look at the big picture and stay safe and keep it together and finish these races good, and we'll be all right.
Huh. So what do you think?
Well, like I said, this track is tailor-made for him and his operation. They run well here. They finished all the laps here. He's the man to beat. You knew that coming in. So he's doing what he has to do to win the championship. If you win the race, that's always been the philosophy. You'll win the championship. That's what he's doing today. And right-handedly, I might add. But I tell you, the guy that's impressed me is that guy in that green-looking truck right there. Where in the world did Lonnie Rush come from? We're talking all these guys, people we know. And here's a cat running second and doing a pretty darn good job.
Where in the world did you get to think that thing looked green? That's sort of a sea blue, DW.
Therein lies some of the problems that we've talked about.
Now, wait a minute.
You see Lonnie Rush, so he took a gamble a little while ago for track position. Felt he had a good truck, and you see it's paying off for him right now. Had he been back in the pack, we probably wouldn't have got a look at him today.
The question is, can he make it to the break on fuel? That's the question.
Well, we're at 73, and it's 20 laps to that halfway mark.
Maybe Burns can tell us about the 10 car.
Hey, Darrell, I just asked Lonnie Rush's crew chief, Jim Daly, if they could make it, and he held up his fingers crossed, so they're not really sure. But hey, Lonnie Rush's game plan was simple. He's put this deal together to run this truck, and he wanted to run up front to get as much exposure and as much time on television as he could, and it's paid off because we're talking about it.
Okay, well, Burns, ask him what color that thing is, will you?
If you take your dark glasses off, DW, you see it's sort of a blue.
Oh, okay.
You see Lonnie Rush leading right there. He and Ruttman have been going at it, but Brian Refner has run him down quite a ways now, and he's pulled right up on the tailgate. You see him there in the red truck moving in on Ruttman. He's much quicker, but just behind him, I think, is the story of the race. That's Kenny Irwin Jr. in the 98. He is flying out there. I think he may be the fastest truck.
Got the official word. It's teal.
Teal?
Teal. It's
What
like
color is
mauve.
that?
You
Now,
know,
wait
it's
a
one of
minute.
them fancy colors like mauve.
Man, teal.
Green car.
And what's
truck
this sport
out in front
coming
is Jack
to?
Sprague.
People with teal cars, I don't understand.
In second is Rush, third is Ruttman, and fourth is Refner. We'll be back to Phoenix with more of the action in a moment. There you see Jack Sprague out of Spring Lake, Michigan, leading here in Arizona, next to last race of the 1997 season. They'll wind it up in Las Vegas next weekend. Big day for the Grand National and for the trucks. Caution down. Yellow is out around the track for the second time. This one at lap 81.
It is going to fly. Getting caution will be flying. For debris in turn 1.
You heard it. Debris in turn 1 brings out the second caution of the day as they work the 82nd lap. Completed lap 81 when that yellow came down. 93 is the halfway mark. Lonnie Rush will be the halfway story of this race. Now in third spot. Ruttman has taken over in second. And Lonnie Rush is looking for his first career top 10. He had a 13th back at Orlando in the January performance.
And this could be just what he needs, Ken, because if he was worried about making it to the break, had a caution a little bit ago when everybody pitted for fuel. Now we got another one here with 10 to go to break. So this could be playing right into his hands.
You get just about triple the gas mileage once you slow down like this under caution. You can run along in high gear, and you do not use the fuel that you do under race condition.
Yeah, it's 2.75 to 1, buddy.
Okay.
Buddy, that Kenny Irwin, number 98, has been flying out here. He's up to fourth, and he's going to be something to watch when we come back. Kenny Irwin Jr., the top rookie, looks like he wants to try to win it all.
Race fans, Budweiser asked, who won? October 26, 1996, Phoenix International Raceway. The battle for the win was up front for much of the day between number 24, with Jack Sprague driving, and the 18 of Johnny Benson. Joe Ruttman in truck number 80 blasted his way to the front from the 11th starting position. Young Kenny Irwin, driving number 98, was looking for his first career Truck Series win. Keeping the early contenders in sight was points leader Ron Hornaday in truck number 16. But who won? Take a look at the contenders. The answer when we return. This day by Jack Sprague. Kenny Irwin didn't fare as well. A crash put him out of the running for his first win. Although Mike Skinner and Ron Hornaday ran up front, they couldn't keep pace with the leaders. Jack Sprague and Johnny Benson pulled away from the competition, and Sprague went on to win his second straight race at Phoenix. Who Won was brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beers. This Bud's for you.
Back with you live, and that 88's back in trouble another time. Terry Cook brings out the third caution at lap 87. Up against the wall, net comes down. That looks like the end of the ride for Terry Cook today. Had a 360 spin up here under the bridge earlier. Now he gets it fired up, cranked, and he's going to bring it back around.
You can see the right front's down on that truck. You see the damage there where he got into the wall. The whole right side of the truck is flattened.
Just back under green after the second caution. And that one's a bit rumpled. Cook's number 88 comes in with Sprague in first, Rutman second, Kenny Irwin up to third, Refner fourth, Lonnie Rush back in fifth. Here's what happened.
Oh, I see what happened now.
Yeah, Rick Crawford gives him a little nudge there. You can see him sideways there, hard into the outside wall. That's when the tire got punctured, when he was up against the wall.
Yeah. Well, they're getting three wide right along in there. Crawford just
barely touched him, but in that place there.
That's the fast part of the turn, entering the turn right there, and it doesn't take much to send you sailing.
Take that little touch on the brake, take that set, get yourself down in there.
And you don't need any help.
All right, we'll take a quick break and be back with Sprague in front. Rutman in second here today, and here comes Kenny Irwin. Halfway in the GM Goodwrench Delco battery. 300K here this afternoon at Phoenix International Raceway. Halfway is here. Came a lap or two early. At 90, they're in. On pit road. Take that 5-minute break. Do anything you can in 5 minutes and get yourself set for the second half of this race as you look at this beautiful facility from the Durashine aerial platform. Well over 50,000 folks out today to enjoy this prelude to Winston Cup racing tomorrow. Let's go down on pit road. Here's Alan Bestwick.
Jack Sprague, the race leader, is in for his service. The crew going to change 4 tires, take a little bit of spoiler angle out of the machine. Other than that, they're not going to do a darn thing. We're going to step out of the way just for a second as the Jack comes around to change the left side tires. Then we'll step in there and get a word with Jack. Dennis Conner said Jack's reporting the truck to be just a little bit tight. Other than that, everything is in great shape. Let's see if we can get a word with Jack. Jack, not bad so far. How's it running?
Well, I tell you, this Quaker State Chevrolet's awful good. It's a little bit tight right now, but apparently it's not as bad as the rest of them. So if the thing keeps running as well as it is, maybe we can get it a little bit better and win this thing.
That's Jack Sprague. He's the leader now. Let's go up to Steve Burns.
And with Rich Bickle, the team hard at work. Rich, what changes will you guys make here for the second half?
Well, I'm really good in 1 and 2. I just can't get in the middle of 3 and 4. I'm really loose. So we're going to try to tighten it up down there and keep it the same in 1 and 2. If we can do that, we can pick up a few spots. I don't know if we got anything for leaders, but, you know, we're just here to run good, try to do the best we can.
All right. Anything specific you can do? See the guys under the left front here, Rich?
Well, we're going to change the left rear shock, and we're going to do a little bit with the sway bar, trying to tighten it up down there, and hopefully that won't hurt me down there. I'm really good in 1 and 2, like I said, but, you know, like I said, we'll get this Dyer Chevrolet and try to get toward front.
All right, let's go to Alan Bestwick.
All right, Joe Rutman is sitting in his truck now while the crew changes tires. Joe, tell me about the first half of your race and what you might need to do to get up there and get around Jack Sprague.
Well, there's probably a lot of stuff we could do. If he could slow down, it'd probably make it a lot easier. I think it'd probably be easier if he slowed down than me trying to speed up. But the boys have got this old LCI Ford running pretty good. We're just a little off, and we're going to try to tweak her a little bit. I don't want to tell Spraggy because he might try the same thing.
There you go. Joe Rutman trying to get another win here today. Let's go to Steve Burns.
And one of the big surprises today, Alan, has been Lonnie Rush. Lonnie, gosh, you guys are putting on a great show. What about the second half?
Well, we're going to try to put this ANG Cole Chevrolet up front. It's we tried to play this fuel mileage thing, and also it worked to our advantage on the chassis end of it. It's a heck of a truck today, and we're going to try to keep it up front.
Well, best of luck putting on a great show. Let's go to Kent Squire.
Lonnie Rush having a tremendous day after a performance just a few months back. His last time out in trucks, saw him down at Bristol in Grand National Racing 4 or 5 years ago, where he had a good finish down there. Not too much known about Lonnie Rush from that
early 91, 92 season when he did some Grand National racing.
Yeah, I know a little bit about him. He's from up around Indianapolis. He was he and Ray Skillman, an old friend of mine, ran an ASA car together a little bit, and Ray was really high on Lonnie. He said he was someone to really watch. He called me and gave me Lonnie's name a time or two. And Ray, if you're watching, well, you were right. He's pretty good.
Best finish in Grand National was a 4th at Bristol in mid 90s, and let's see what he's going to do today. Alan Bestwick has more for us.
Ken, I moved up to the truck of the pole sitter Mike Bliss. A little bit of extra work going on under the left side of this machine. Just when that caution came out that led us to the early mid-race break, Mike called in and reported he thought the clutch developed a problem at that moment. Barry Dodson, the crew chief, is up underneath the truck now. They're trying to see if they can do something to address it here in the few minutes they've got left of the mid-race break. Let's go to Larry McReynolds.
Alan, I'm in the Kenny Irwin pits, and his truck had really begun to push near the end of that segment right there, and they really had several adjustments that they had lined up to make. But when they got in the pits, the right front tire was going flat, and the fender was caved in. They figured that's what cut the tire. So they've straightened the fender out, put 4 fresh Goodyear tires on. They did put a little piece of rubber in the right rear spring. That will stiffen that spring rate and hopefully help this truck to turn. Ken?
Thank you very much. And right now we're looking at 30 trucks on the lead lap. The average speed 106.3. There you see some of the 50,000 out here celebrating a weekend of NASCAR racing at Phoenix International Raceway. You know, they say that the 4 races run at this track. They did a study at the Center of Business Research at Arizona. Those 4 races at Phoenix International Raceway are worth to this area, to the business community, $226 million.
Well, I know where a very small portion of that came from.
And I got to tell you, Phoenix is such a sports-minded community. You know, you take a look around here at this racetrack, which continues to build, and take a look here at the arena where the America West Arena where the Suns play, and the Coyotes. In fact, Coyotes have got a game with Minnesota coming up, and the Diamondbacks, they'll be playing baseball here next year in Phoenix. And here's just some of the stuff that's going on in Phoenix this weekend. NBA season opener with the Suns defeating the Clippers last night. That undefeated Washington team, 7-0, getting in there.
Let's talk about the biggest crowd. Do you know where it's going to be?
Right
here on Sunday.
Did you see the Kentucky Wildcats beat Chicago Bulls last night?
Oh, no. Did you see the Celtics? Oh, the Kentucky Wildcats.
Yeah. Come on, guys. Get with it.
I know, but that's the Celtics.
That was the starting lineup from UK a year ago with my coach, and he won the game.
Are you going to switch over to the Celtics
I'm
now?
a Celtic fan now.
All right.
Yep. But I'm still a Wildcat fan, too.
Yeah. Anyway, Phoenix is a great spot. I found it very interesting that in the tourist thing they send out, the calendar for this month, oh, they've got everything going on this weekend. They've got a choir festival going on. They got the Coyote hockey game. Not one word about the racing.
Yeah, and the World of Outlaws, you know, raced here last night.
And they're racing tonight here.
Tonight, yes, sir.
Manzanita. What a great show they put on.
How about the High Plains Drifter here? Steve Burns?
Well, the net's going up on Rick Corelli. Rick, you got a 10 run going. How do you feel about the second half?
Truck's not fast, a little tight. I can't really hear a lot of what you're saying, but I think we got a pretty good truck. We'll see if we can race our way to the front.
All right, he's got to flip the switch and get her going. Let's go to Ken Squire.
Well, there's Racing's High Plain Drifter. Tonight at 8 o'clock, we'll show you the original Clint Eastwood, one of those great spaghetti westerns. High Plains Drifter, part of the Big Shot night on TBS this evening, 8:05 for Clint Eastwood and company. Drifting along through an evening of great viewing.
Well, I guess that Lonnie Rush had him in his teal truck, had him a Perrier while he was on his pit stop there, and had a high level of intellectual conversation with his crew, and he's ready to go back to racing.
Did you see the picture of the king? He didn't have his crown on. He had one of his racing hats, but he's here today and certainly wants this truck to do well.
Yeah, Jimmy Hensley out there. And Jimmy Hensley is one who loves this series. I've raced a lot of series. I could stay here forever with this Craftsman Truck Series. He's in 21st position as we get ready to go. Take a look at your mid-race report. Mopar summary. He's had 3 leaders to date. Lead changes only 3. Cautions 3, but it doesn't tell us what kind of a race we had in that summary. Tall. He had Mike Bliss, if you're just joining us, jump out in front. Lead by 3.5 seconds. And then Jack Sprague just reeled him in.
Boy, he
Great racing.
did. That 24 truck is notorious for doing that here.
Hey, let's go to Steve Burns. I think he's got a story on Randy Tolson.
Yeah, Randy Tolson had a great win just a few weeks ago at Bakersfield. Another great run last week. Randy, what happened here?
We just didn't unload the best this weekend, and Dave Hughes and I worked great together, and we worked all weekend. Really thought we had something, had a motor problem there in that run, and don't know for sure what. And T&L has been great all year, and Chevrolet's done a great job for us. And you know, Steve Coulter from IWX Motor Freight's home watching, and you know, you have good days and you have bad days in this sport, and we've had some great days lately, and this is just one of those little setbacks. But our team's proud. We're keeping our heads up, and we're looking forward to Las Vegas.
All right, best of luck.
Thanks.
Las Vegas next week. What a likable guy he is.
Yeah.
Hosted a donor awareness program.
He and his wife,
LA Medical Center.
They're great. They're a great couple.
Friends.
Yeah, they come to the MRO conferences. That's where I met them first time and watched him with a great deal of interest.
One lap before they turn him loose out here. You know, they ran the Silver Crown here and as part of that Copper Row Classic a couple of years ago. What a finish they had. When it was over, he was right in the middle of it. Bliss won. He was second in those great Silver Crown cars, and Kenny Irwin third. Here we've got Irvin third today. Bliss has fallen back into sixth spot. Kind of hoping to see Randy Tolson have a good day. That's not going to be. He is now out at halftime. So take a look after 90 of the 186 laps with Jack Sprague and Ruttman leading the parade here this afternoon. Brian Reffner, who started on the pole, back and forth, and Lonnie Rush, the story of the day, up in that 5th position as we get ready to roll him out another time. Looking further back, how about this Tommy Hubert from way back in the field up to 11th there, buddy? What a run.
Well, he's having a great day, and you know, there's high expectations. That truck's had a lot of drivers in it this year, and he's doing a good job in this truck. I think before it's over, he's going to really be one of the #1 drivers in this division.
Let me tell you where he impressed me was at Sonoma. My goodness, he gave that truck a ride on that road course. He was all over the place, took the lead. He was exciting to watch.
Okay, guys, it's back to green, and let me tell you, everything's different now. They've had time to work on the trucks, make them better. It's going to be a shootout from here on.
Since 1988, NASCAR has been coming with their big circuit to Phoenix, Arizona, and in this Saturday afternoon race, these 50,000 folks are being treated as something really special. Battle for the championship could be decided today. Jack Sprague jumps out in front, pulls away by 3 car lengths over Ruttman. Irwin lies there in 3rd, Reffner 4th, and Lonnie Rush in 5th. With Mike Bliss struggling now in 6th after he sat on the pole. Hornaday's in 7th, Bickle 8th, Morelli 9th, and Wallace running a steady 10th. That Kenny Schrader truck.
Look at Mike Bliss there getting off the corner. You can see now Hornaday fights back. The two of them side by side going down towards turn 1. You see Bliss there trying to get the angle through the corner.
Consultation flag out on someone back around 11th, 12th position. Black flag in hand there. We'll check that one for you. See who has to come in. Steve Park passing a little early. Premature move's going to cost him. Meanwhile, here's Bliss working away on the bottom of the racetrack, trying to pace himself for another spot. He gets under Hornaday.
It's always interesting to me to watch the trucks and how they change from the break. The changes that the crews are able to make that always help some and seems to always hurt some. Some being trucks I'm talking about. Not people.
That's a familiar-looking truck. That's Darrell Waltrip's truck, driven by Rich Bickle. You can see right now the High Plains Drifter making a move on the inside there. Rick Crawford just behind him. These guys are going at it.
Yeah, that's why. That was why I made that comment. Whatever we did, I don't think I like it. And I don't think Rich likes it too much right now.
Look at Corelli down to the inside, working on Hornaday now. Rick Corelli comes alive.
Well, Corelli was pretty quick at the break. He was coming up through there pretty good at the break, and then they had the break, and so they made some good changes on that truck.
That's Tom Hubert in the blue truck there. He's running very well. You see him looking on the inside of Keselowski going down into turn 1. These guys are really fighting it out here. This is close competition. If one guy makes a mistake, hey, 10 trucks out.
Alan Bestwick has more on the Bliss truck.
Can't remember that when Mike Bliss just came to that caution flag before the halftime break, he reported some sort of a problem, possibly with the clutch. This is Barry Dodson, his crew chief. Barry, did you get the clutch fixed?
Yeah, a piece of rubber knocked the line loose, and we had to replace a fitting. We got lucky. It took all 5 minutes, but we got it fixed. We made some pretty big chassis changes, too. I hope the Holiday Inn's not looking. I got your towels here, but I think we'll be okay with the changes we made. The fuel mileage looked pretty good. That's touch and go, but we saw one guy make it, so we'll have to see what happens here.
There you go. Barry burned his arms trying to make some of those repairs up underneath that hot race truck. That's why he's got those towels wrapped around his arms, guys.
Boy, that's a race I'm watching with a great deal of interest. Hornaday and Bickle, they've been side by side for the last 5 laps, just going at it tooth and nail.
You're riding with Keselowski down the back straightaway. He won earlier this year in Richmond, Virginia. You see Hornaday really getting sideways in the dog leg. But look at these two trucks. They look like they're welded together through the corner.
Yeah, and Keselowski, he's trying to decide which one of them to follow. And right now, he's probably going to. I don't know what's going to happen here. I don't like this.
Watch yourself, DW.
Does it make you nervous to see your money running that close?
What in the world? You know, I'm not a good to race with. I get a little upset sometimes.
Take a look at Chuck Bound scooting down to the inside. The 99 of Bound there. 12th spot, making a move on Keselowski. Larry McReynolds has news for us. Larry?
Well, Ken, Ron Hornaday, he just has not been happy with his truck since the start of the race. They come in on that first caution because the truck was not turning in the middle, and they raised the track bar. Ron said that it really didn't fix it, but he felt like he had already burned the right front tire off, which is what you'll do when the truck isn't turning. So what they did on this halftime break, they raised the track bar one more time, put 4 fresh tires in it, and made a little bit of air pressure adjustment. And Darrell, you know, that's an evil of this racetrack. The truck's not turning in the middle, because when you're loose off, if it don't turn in the middle, it's even going to make it looser off longer in a run.
Yeah, you're right, Larry. What it does is it doesn't fix the problem. It just creates another problem. You now are pushing and loose, and as a crew chief will tell you, I can't fix both of them.
Talking about fixing a problem and getting another one, Steve Park came on pit road for passing before the flag came out. Now he's been penalized again for too fast exiting the pits. So he's back in another time right now as we continue to watch Keselowski in the Mopar running with 99 Bound.
Chuck Bound in the 99, you see him on the inside there. They made several contacts. You see him very close there. Bound got a little tired of it and just moved over anyhow.
Well, you can do that off that corner. When you get down under a guy right there, you can use him for a cushion. And, I mean, I'm not saying guys...
the old theory, 8 tires corner better than 4?
Much better. A lot more side bite with 8 than you got with 4.
Hubert running right in there, too. That Dana Corporation rig. Stays right in the thick of it in 13th. Now you're watching Mike Bliss in 5th. And he's got Lonnie Rush pinned on the outside. Well, Lonnie Rush has got Bliss held on the inside. Take a look at this struggle.
Well, I'm telling you what, when they get fresh tires on them like this, and you go back to after these restarts, everybody's real racy for a little while because they know they got to make hay while the sun shines.
Lonnie Rush in 6th spot, trying to pull away from him a bit. The man who set in the pole with a new track record of almost a mile an hour over Jack Sprague a year ago.
You see Mike Wallace in the 52 making it a 3-truck fight as they go down through the dog leg on the back straightaway. These guys are going at it all the way around the racetrack.
Wallace back in 7th position. Then it's 3 truck lengths back to Ferrilli, riding in 8th. It's Bickle in 9th, Hornaday in 10th. Chuck Bound now 11th, and Keselowski settling into 12th, with Hubert just behind him in 13th, and Butch Miller up to 14th now. We've completed 103 of the 186 laps that make this 300K race at Phoenix International Raceway. Jack Sprague is out in front. Rich Bickle has just moved around. Lonnie Rush picked himself up a spot. Get himself up towards 7th position here now.
Yeah, he runs good. The longer they go, seem like the better Rich gets. So that's good news and bad news. The longer they go, also, the further away that 24 gets. So I don't know if that's going to do us any good or not.
Bickle now 8th, Rush 9th. Rick Corelli is the one in 7th. Jack Sprague with 8 career wins stays up in front. There you see Steve Park in the 76. First time here at Phoenix. Penalized twice here since halftime. And Mike Bliss scoots down to the inside in the number 2, goes under Brian Reffner. That move there was good for 4th spot. Mike Bliss getting some speed back, getting some steam back into that number 2, bringing that 4 back up through. But it's Sprague in front and Ruttman in second, and Alan Bestwick has a story on pit road.
All right, Ken, I'm in Jack Sprague's pit. This is his crew chief, Dennis Conner, watching his car come by through turns 1 and 2. All right, Dennis, 2 questions. Can you go to the finish on the fuel you have on board now that you got a mileage check?
15 laps short.
Question number 2, what do you tell your driver when he's leading the championship? He's got a great run going today. What are you telling him on the radio? Anything?
Just keep doing what you've been doing all year long. That's kind of what got us here, and be just a little bit more conservative with the Quaker State Chevrolet than maybe he has in the race here in the spring.
Dennis is pretty happy all day. You see that grin on his face. Every time I've come down here to talk to him today, he said, oh, driver says the truck's way tight, way tight. And then he smiles.
Here's what we know, buddy. You agree with this, that Sprague's engine will probably burn more fuel than maybe Rich Bickle's engine will, let's say, because Sprague's making a lot of power and he's running out front. The Fords don't get quite as good a gas mileage as the Chevrolets do. So I think gas mileage, if this thing stayed green long enough, could turn into a big factor in this race.
Definitely could be a big factor. Jack Sprague there, you can see he finally got by Steve Park, but look at the second and third place trucks there. They pull right up on the back bumper of Sprague. He got very high just a second ago. I think he might have what you call an arrow push in the far end of the racetrack up to 3 and 4. And if he ever gets up in that gray part of the racetrack, let me tell you, you're in trouble.
It's not very forgiving. No, it's not. It's a lot of sand and tire rubber and marbles up there. And the wall is real close when you get out there.
So is Dennis leading us down a path with that 14-15 laps short?
No, I don't think so. I think that's a real number. But you heard Lonnie Rush say he can run 96 laps. So that's going to be the gamble these guys may be faced with before the show's over with.
Steve Burns.
Yeah, following on the fuel mileage story, I just talked to Dave McCarty, Rich Bickle's crew chief, and asked if they could make it if it stayed under these conditions, and he shook his head vehemently, no, we cannot.
That's Bickle, who is currently in 8th position and closing on Rick Corelli and company right now.
Yeah, he's doing a good job.
He's got to get Mike Wallace first in that 7th position, and he's really cut the distance down.
Ken, we talked about gas mileage, so let's talk some more. If they have a few cautions, everybody can make it. If they go green all the way, there'll be a lot of these trucks that'll be marginal whether they make it or not.
And that's what's always fun to watch. It's nerve-wracking for the driver and the crew, but it's fun to watch. Who starts thinking about fuel mileage? You got to start thinking about it right now if you're going to try to make it to the end.
71 laps to go here to decide this one. Now they've completed 116, getting us down to the 70-lap mark to the finish of this Craftsman Truck Series race. Finished today. They've got 55 trucks entered for Las Vegas in the finale next weekend.
Yeah, about half of them are Winston Cup drivers going there for what I would call a free test session.
Really?
Yes, that's what I'd call it. Wouldn't you? I mean, we're going to race the Cup cars there next year. Why not take advantage of a truck race to get you a little familiarity with the track?
You going to take a second truck out there?
Would you ever think about that, Baker, doing something like that?
No, not me. Of course I would.
Oh.
I'm telling you one thing. Either Jack Sprague's look at Chuck down there. You can see he drove down in the corner. They're making a little contact there. That's Hornaday. He gives him a little pop there coming off turn 4. I tell you what, they're going at it.
I think there's being some communication made there, don't you? Somebody sent a message that the other guy didn't like, apparently.
I think it's been reciprocal over the last 4 or 5 laps. 10th spot is that 99. Hornaday's coming after him. And coming after him pretty tough. You get Hornaday's Irish up and you got a handful.
I'd say.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Bickle is making a move on Wallace. Rich Bickle has taken that 17 down to the bottom of the racetrack. Here it is, Mike Wallace up on the outside. That's for 7th spot.
That should not be a problem as they go down the corner. You see Wallace on the outside, though, keeping his foot in it. Bickle fighting on the bottom, and he's actually got a bad, you have to pinch the truck there, and the outside truck will drive back about a half a car length to a car length down the front.
Yeah, they're actually, right now Wallace is hurting both of them because he's holding Rich up, racing side by side like that, where if they just let him go and follow him, they'd make better time between the two of them. And if I had a radio, I'd tell him that. Kenny, are you listening? Tell him.
Michael Wallace is not paying attention. He's got Bickle covered again. DW's truck is back.
Oh, I know it. I tell you.
8th spot. Michael Wallace is not very happy about giving that slot up. And Michael Wallace is closing in on the High Plains drifter, Rick Corelli.
Well,
but nobody's getting close to this guy. Jack Sprague now leading Ruttman by 1 4/10 seconds with 122 of 186 laps complete this time by.
Budweiser.
I can't believe they went with the frogs.
Louis.
Our audition was flawless.
Louis.
We did the look. Huh? We did the tongue thing.
Mm-hmm.
That was great.
Louis, frogs sell beer. That's it, man. #1 rule of marketing.
The Budweiser Lizards. We could have been huge.
Hey, there'll be other auditions.
Oh, yeah, for what? This was Budweiser, buddy.
No.
This was big. Those frogs are gonna pay.
Let it go, Louis. Let it go.
Right here on TBS. Nobody's catching Jack Sprague. Let's check those storylines that we've been following today here.
Yellow flag.
Yellow flag is down. Fuel strategy is still important. Let's see if they're going to duck in here and get fuel as we come out with another caution. 8 different winners, last 8 races. Will there be a 9th today? Somebody's got to best Jack Sprague to pull that stunt.
You know, they got it. The 24 truck does to this series what his counterpart does in the Winston Cup Series, Ken. It's hard to lobby for anything for a Chevrolet when the 24 runs the way it does. Same way in the Winston Cup Series.
He's talking about his partner, Jeff Gordon. They both have the 24 on their racers, and I tell you what, they both do pretty well on their series. This truck is very dominant, and Jeff Gordon is also very dominant.
And they're both trying to win a championship. So a lot of similarities here, and it's not all in just a number, I can promise you.
Caution is out. We're checking on a reason why. Nobody is in any major trouble out there. There was some debris on the track. Got a truck out in turn 2. It came around, swept around 1. It's into turn 2. That's where the issue is. Pick up something out there, and we're going to be back under green. Now 129, working lap 130 at the present time. Let's see if there's going to be an opportunity for those leaders to duck in here. This is the 4th caution of the day in this Craftsman Truck Series race number 25 of the 26 that make up the 97 season.
Somewhat of a dilemma, because if the 24 stays out right now, say you want to come in and top off, if he stays out, you'd be at the tail end of the longest line there.
He's in.
Okay, well, now I'd come too. That's what I'd do.
Ruttman stays out. Ruttman stays on the track, inherits first place.
So Ruttman thinks he can make it.
Sprague is in, Irwin is in, Bliss is in, Refner, Corelli, Wallace, Bickle, Cunningham, Sauter, Hornaday, Kozlowski, Miller, Pitting. Let's follow the story on the 24.
Jack Sprague is in, fuel going in, a round of brakes going out of the left rear. He's down and away after his couple of gallons of fuel. Let's go to Steve Burns.
And Rich Bickle just came in. They made a quick chassis adjustment to the left rear. They got gas in very quickly. Ken Squire.
Boy, he did. That was fast. I like that.
Boris said still on pit road. Doug George is down there. Haven't given him a call today. Comes back out. 130 complete this time by. Laps remaining. We're down to 56. Larry McReynolds.
Well, Kim, when I talked to Joe Ruttman's crew chief, he said it was borderline if it went green all the way that they could make it. But he said, you know what? We don't have a whole lot to lose. And, you know, we might remember Joe Ruttman won a race earlier this year on fuel mileage at Topeka. So, you know, these caution laps, they probably could make the difference, and he can go the distance on fuel. And, you know, Darrell and Buddy, the characteristics of a truck can really determine fuel mileage. And as a crew chief, you've got to watch the stopwatch close. If your truck is faster in this second segment than you was the first segment, that means you're going to burn more fuel. If your truck's pushing worse, you're also going to burn more fuel because you're back to the gas and the truck is bogged down.
Working lap 131, still under caution. The advantage, Ruttman's at the moment with these slow laps.
Green coming on at lap 133. They're coming around to complete 134 with Rutland in front. And the team truck, Chuck Bound, right there at number 99 in second spot. Bounds had 2 third-place finishes this year. Wild restart.
Boy, it was. Watch this. Go, buddy. Look at this.
I'll tell you, just moments ago, look at this. As they come off the corner there, you can see Steve Park getting very sideways. Behind him, everybody's looking for somewhere to go off turn 2.
Sprague just got sideways off turn 4. I mean, the tires must have really got build up on him from that last caution.
Rutland in command. Here he is down there by 2 truck lengths over his teammate Chuck Bound. Lonnie Rush having a great run, staying right in the thick of it.
And Mike Bliss got by Sprague just a second ago going into turn 1. You can see he's really moving out right now. Sprague right on his tailgate as they go through.
Yeah, Sprague got real loose off turn 4. I don't know if he thought he had a problem or build up on the tires. Sometimes they'll do that after a restart, so we'll just have to watch and see. These restarts is what really makes every race exciting because it changes everything so much. It just groups the cars up and they all act differently when they're in a crowd like this.
Rutland trying to stay in front of that crowd right now as you watch Lonnie Rush on the outside. And here's Sprague trying to make some distance down on the bottom.
Jack Sprague's got good angle there, but look underneath him. Kenny Irwin's trying to make it 3 wide as they head for the front straightaway.
And Bickle right with him.
Boy, Bick's hanging in there good this time. He's got a little run on him.
Sprague up to 4th. Rush gets dumped back. Irwin gets to 5th. Rush ends up in 6th on that exchange.
Well, I hope
Rutland stays front.
I hope that all those guys thought about that sun, Ken, because that's going to be something that we're going to deal with here just a little bit before the race is over. If the sun sets in turn 1, it really gets hard to see as you go down into that turn.
Down this 1,100-foot straightaway. How fast into turn 1?
Well, you're doing about 160 mile an hour, maybe a little more.
And you're pretty much blind as that sun comes down. It's directly onto the windshield. And when you're a little oil spattered, you picked up a few pock marks, it's difficult.
It is, and you know, you go down in that turn, you're heavy braking at that high speed, so you got to be able to see where you're going, what you're doing.
Lonnie Rush getting pinned on the outside and mauled here. Here's Corelli coming down through, trying to make a move on him.
You see Rick Corelli there getting very close to Lonnie Rush. They make a little contact there coming off turn 4. Brian Refner in the 66, right on his tailgate as they head into turn 1.
Corelli taking 7th. Refner coming with him as they continue to shuffle Lonnie Rush. Rutland stays in front, and Bound looking for his best finish of the season if he can stay where he is in second spot on that number 99. But look out, here comes Mike Bliss on the outside. The pole sitter is on a roll.
Right. Did you see Refner just then? Refner did everything. He was looking out the right door coming off that corner. That truck was completely sideways. Jay Sauter in the 3 there had to check up just a little bit. They were very close to getting in trouble.
That's the old Baker trick at Talladega.
Yeah, everybody thought I did that on purpose. I wasn't that good.
I thought Sprague was in trouble. I believe it was build up on his tires because he's starting to fight back now. He's up to 3rd and or 4th actually, and looks to be closing up on the Fords. I think it's coincidence that Fords run a 1, 2, 3, and 2 of them are teammates. And the guy on the pole that set a new track record is running 3rd. So,
but it's been a Chevy season in this. This is some turnaround with these Fords out here on this mile track. Look at Rutland and Bound, all in the mail through 3 and 4. Bliss right there after, and then the first Chevy is the Sprague Green Machine. Jay Sauter trying to work now to the bottom on Rush. They put him back to 10th, back to 11th.
You see him right there. Jay Sauter moves Lonnie Rush just a little bit there. You see Butch Miller in the 20 truck coming up now, trying to get past Lonnie Rush. I think Lonnie's gone off just a little bit in the Hamlin department. He's dropping back pretty quickly now.
Buddy, I think his nerves are shot. They've knocked him all over the place. Everybody has.
Yeah, they're punching on him.
They got him again. They got him up out of the group.
Miller nailed him. Butch Miller moved him up.
What's going down in the first turn there? Look at this blind spot. Well, it's not that bad yet.
What you have is a little glare off the racetrack itself, but it's not that bad. As we go along in the race, as Darrell said, it's going to get a little more hard to see going into turn 1.
I've actually had my crew that'll be down in that turn. I've had them talk me down in that turn before, late in the day here.
You're kidding. Count you in?
Yeah.
Turn left?
Yeah.
Dirt track style, huh? Old days in the dust. 1, 2, 3, left.
No, I don't remember any of that. I didn't do that.
Oh, that's right.
No.
You weren't part of that. Joe Ruttman out in front. Has a half-second advantage right now. Had a birthday this past Tuesday. Says I don't count him anymore.
That's a mature driver there. That is not an old driver.
No, but have you noticed how much better the second half of this race is? I mean, the field is not getting all strung out. Nobody's running off and leaving anybody. And that just tells you that the guys made good choices on what changes they made at the break.
That's two Roush trucks running first and second there. Joe Ruttman leading, and of course in second place there, Chuck Bowen doing a great job today. Mike Bliss looks to be closing in just a little bit in third.
And don't forget, they did not stop for fuel. So they're just sipping along right now. Probably hoping that there's another caution or two.
They're gulping right now. Taking everything it'll take to stay out in front of those Chevrolets. Jack Sprague right there. Let's go to Alan Bestwick.
Ken, talk about the second place truck of Chuck Bowen for just a minute. His hauler on the way back from the Sears Point race near San Francisco in early October to the Roush shops in Livonia, Michigan near Detroit had an electrical problem in the back end and caught fire. This truck was damaged in that fire. They rebuilt it in their shop between early October and now late October and have it here running very well today. Their crew chief, Frank Riccinti, said no question they can make it on fuel.
Wow. Chuck Bowen looking for that first truck win. Former Winston West champion. Chuck Bowen, third at Homestead and third at I-70 at Odessa earlier this year. Where does he make it all the way, buddy?
You see Rich Bickle there going down in the corner. He's turned it up a notch now, Darrell. He looks like he's really moving up on the front group there. But I was just noticing just a second ago, Mike Bliss and Jack Sprague have really gone into a war.
Well, it isn't going to be lasting much longer. Whoops. Well, he took a look, but Bliss closed the door on him.
Bickle's 3 8/10 of a second back from that leader. So he's a long way from out of this one.
Yeah, but there's only one truck between us and the 24. So, you know, that's 5 points.
Trying to find a way to close it up.
He just blew it.
Yeah, he
17
does.
off the pace.
You can see the oil coming out of the left pipe on Rich Bickle. What a terrible thing to happen this close to the end of the year.
He just dropped the valve. Well, they pulled a lot of gear today. We went for the win. That was the plan. Pulled a lot of gear, hope to be able to hang in there and get them at the end, but it's not going to happen.
That's what you said before the race started. That was the gamble you were taking to try to get this thing, is go down in the gear and try to get it off those corners.
Yeah, well, we knew Sprague would be tough, and we knew we had to do everything we could to try to run with him, or at least try to beat him today if we could, so it didn't work out.
But what he'll try to do is continue and soldier along. You can see it's not smoking enough to create a problem for the other trucks, so they'll allow him to keep going as long as it don't get any worse.
Riffner, Sauter, Miller all going by the 17 now.
More than likely it dropped the valve, and it's just a matter of time.
Clear behind that white one.
Easing out of it just a little now. That's Bickle.
Yeah,
Steve Burns.
That's too bad.
With Dave McCarty, the crew chief. Dave, are you guys done for the day? It looks like it. We made a gamble this morning on some things to try to do what we had to do. We knew we were second points, and the only way to get ahead here was to win. And it looks like the diehard Chevrolet just kind of give up the ghost here on us. All right, tough break.
Well, that's the dilemma you find yourself in when you come to somebody else. You know, this is a track that Jack built, really, I mean, as far as this series is concerned. And so it makes you do things you really don't want to do, but sometimes they pay off, sometimes they don't. Richie's done a great job this year in that car, or in that truck, and we're proud of him.
What's the story for next year? There's been all that wording about Winston Cup and all that DW. Where is Bickle going to run next year?
Yeah, we're going to try to hopefully keep him in the truck. He says he wants to run this series another year and try to run him in a limited Winston Cup schedule next year, maybe 10 or 12 races. So we're happy with Rich. He's done a whale of a job for us, and if we can just keep him content in the truck series another year, maybe we can move him up in 99.
Battle up in front is getting tighter.
It is, and they're closing in on the first two team trucks there. That's the two Roush trucks that you're looking at. Joe Ruttman leading, but look, Mike Bliss is closed right in on the tailgate as they go down the back straightaway, and Sprague has to feel like a man with that's lost the country here. I mean, he's the only Chevrolet up there with 4 Fords fighting it out right now.
I think he's picked up a big push because every now and then he'll get right up in that gray area. And I can tell you from experience, that's not a good place to be.
Chuck Bound having a wonderful day, and they say he can go the distance. There's a big question mark hanging over the lead truck of Joe Rutman, that number 80. They say that may not go the distance today. But Bound can make it. Bliss, question mark. Sprague, we'll see. He can get himself home. He's pitted. So it's now the lap of the gods here in the Valley of the Sun. Under caution, 5th time today, and there's a big change up in front after a major incident at turn number 4 for this man, Mike Bliss, in the number 2. Take a look at that rig and see what happened as they change that tire on the right front.
You can see Bliss there. He cut a tire down going in. You see him now making contact on the outside wall. It don't look like much damage there. He kind of got up against the wall. He's coming around, but boy, does he tear this truck up. Look at the rubber beating the front part of that race truck all to pieces.
Yeah, that's a steel belted radio, and so, or thereabouts, so it does a lot of damage.
Alan Bestwick.
Well, Buddy hit it exactly right. Looking at the replay there, Ken, his Mike Bliss's team reported he did cut a right front tire, sent him into the wall. They don't know how much damage was done to the truck. They changed the tire when he came in on pit road. They're going to try and get a feel for Mike as he's on the racetrack for what the truck feels like, to see if they need to come back in again and make any more checks on the suspension or that kind of thing.
The pole sitter with the new record, Bliss, was running 3rd when he got up there in turn 4. Darrell, you were pointing out that Jack Sprague very close to being in the same situation.
Yeah, I've been watching Sprague, and he keeps getting a little higher, getting in that corner also. So the trucks look like maybe picking up a little push. And let me correct something. I didn't mean that literally as a steel belted radio. It's just it's a real tough tire that when it comes apart, that rubber beats the fender right off the thing. It does other damage too. It can tear up the brakes and a lot of other things.
So now, ready for a restart, and Buddy, this should pretty much set it up for Rutman and Bound to go the distance, running these slow laps right now.
I don't think we have anything. Look at the point standings right now. Jack Sprague with 37.99, and you see Rich Bickle back 183. So, hey, Darrell, it looks pretty bad.
Yeah, it does. And what we got to worry about,
or good for Sprague.
What Bickle and us got to worry about is Rutman, because he's in 3rd place. And he has a mathematical shot at coming up there and getting us in 2nd place. So that was something we were worried about when we started today. We want to be sure and hang on to 2nd. And I don't think we're going to be able to do that now.
Still out there, the number 17.
Yeah, he's smoking.
Motor going away.
But he's still hanging in there.
161 laps complete. 186 make the distance.
You're on the lead lap.
The one thing, fuel is no longer a problem whatsoever, as you said, Ken. It's going to be who's got the best truck right now, and they're going to go at it. You see, Jack Sprague is not just running for points. He's racing to win, too.
Rutman in 1st, Bound in 2nd, Sprague in 3rd, Irwin 4th, Corelli up to 5th. And Corelli's had several wins here at Phoenix in his long career out here in the West. The High Plains Drifter could be a factor before this day is over. Away goes Rutman. Drives off, and his teammate Chuck Bound right with him. Sprague back there in 3rd. Has a slow start, and he's lost 10 truck lengths as they head down the back straightaway and into 3.
But he got a good break. He cleared all. Oh, there's a truck in the wall. Hard in the wall.
Refner?
Refner.
Stick in the wall in front. Fucking lap.
Refner solidly into the wall. That'll bring out caution number 6. Lap 163. And that truck's not rolling. He really stuffed it in there.
He hit it hard, and he got a little help, I think. We look at it, maybe get a replay on it, but it looked like he might got a little help.
Brian Refner, who had such high hopes today. Things have been coming together for him in the 2nd half of the season somewhat. And that's not going to work out for him as the number 66 has the net down, and Brian Refner looks for some assistance to get in after he solidly wraps the wall in the 6th caution of the afternoon.
But that's a good sign. When they drop the net like that, that's to tell the corners workers they don't have to hurry. He's in good shape. You see him taking the earplugs out that he communicates with the pits and all. Very upset young man, and you can't blame him. He's run so well today and this close to the end to have trouble.
Ran so well at Mesa Marin. Take another look here. Running second, broke a gearbox at the end of that one, or he'd been into it. Ooh,
well,
he really had it up on the wall.
Yeah, he had the thing up on, he tried to get up on top of the wall there for just a little ways, so he got in there pretty hard.
And that is an unmanned camera there, folks. That guy is not in another county now.
That's going to give the Purple Heart Award to some cameraman out there for that shot. We'll take a break. Give you more of this story. Brian Reffner walking away from number 66 after hard contact in turn 3.
He just got in there and almost hit the back of whoever that was in front of him there and had to get on the brakes, and it got him up out of the groove.
Darrell, we've talked about it so many times. We have an in-truck camera. Let's look at it going in the corner here. You can see him go in very, very hard.
Yeah, he went in hard and there wasn't anywhere to go.
Okay, now he's taken the set. He's touched the brakes, taken the set, and then it's away. He's up too far. Into that
well, he was carrying so much. He's carrying a lot of speed. He had to get on the brakes hard when he did it, locked the front tires up, basically, and the thing took off on him. So no time to recover.
Also, we can touch on something else. The racing groove is down below there, and up there, there's a lot of dust, a lot of rubber dust.
Oh, yeah.
And boy, I mean, when you get up there, it's like getting in a sandbox almost.
Oh, yeah.
Great run at Louisville, great run at Nashville for Brian Reffner. Had a good one going today. Hopefully he has a good run over at Vegas when they clear it out for the 1997 season next week. Tough luck for this young man from Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin. His dad finished second in the points up there. He's still trucking on, the old Blue Knight. Great racers.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, I remember. What was it? Was that what it was? The Blue Knight? Because it was
a red knight, white knight, and the Blue Knight.
Yeah, and Trickle was the.
Wait a minute. Here comes the authority.
Darrell's a lot like me. He remembers everybody that's ever raced.
Yeah. Brian Reffner.
Yeah.
Tom Reffner.
Yes. 66 comes in on the rollback. We're ready to roll away. Get this race started. 167 are complete. They'll go to 168. 18 laps to go to decide it.
Darrell, the restart very critical now. You have lap trucks on the inside. Go. Important.
Rutland, Bound, Sprague, Irwin, the top 4. Corelli back there in 5th. Mike Wallace comes up to 6th. Jay Sauter is into 7th. Butch Miller is 8th. And Hubert from way in the rear on the start in 9th. Here comes Bound. He goes right after his teammate off turn number 2.
They had contact coming out of turn 2. The 99 of Chuck Bound absolutely got in the back of Rutland as they started off the corner over there.
These are two of the toughest guys you can find in this circuit to get by if they don't want to let you through. Rutland and Bound, both famous in that department. Sprague comes after them in that 3rd spot, number 24, Jack Sprague. In a Rick Hendrick Racing stable colors, comes off that 2nd turn into the back straightaway.
Boy,
take a look at that bump here a moment ago between the teammates. Hello, pal.
Yeah.
That is what we call the chrome horn. That's just a little, yes, I'm still here.
That's when you get a call from your car owner. Hey, guys, hey. Let's keep it clean.
I'd far rather see it that way, though, than that Formula One stuff, where they can't, and they get
team
those
orders.
instructions, those team orders.
Yeah.
Fool.
I agree.
Larry McReynolds.
Ken, I'm here with Randy Goss, 3-2 for Joe Rutland. 2-part situation. Can you make it on fuel, and can you hold off your teammate and Jack Sprague?
Well, we're gambling on the fuel a little bit because we're trying to catch 24 in points, you know, and we don't have as much to lose as he does. Or the two's out now, so we're risking a little bit for nothing, but we're going for it.
How about your teammate? Can you hold him off?
Chuck's hungry, and I'm not gonna be surprised if he don't win this race. He's going real good.
Right now, that's a story from Rutland's pits.
And he's got a big problem with Jack Sprague right now. Sprague is all over him. He's just peppering Bound as he tries to get around him, and Kenny Irwin's taking advantage of this situation. Irwin comes back to the stripe in the 98 in that 4th position. The 2-time winner this year, former winner here at Phoenix in the Silver Crown Series. Look out for Irwin. He's the one that could come all the way through.
Wow. Yeah, he is. And the thing about Irwin is, I mean, Sprague right now is in his worst. He's having his worst nightmare. He's between 2 guys that have one that had one and one has won twice. So they're going to come after him.
That rookie, Kenny Irwin. There he is down under that green machine. That's Irwin coming.
Look at Rick Corelli back here just behind them. They're fighting for position. You can see right now going down in turn 1. That's Rick Corelli in the 6th, and on the outside there, that's Mike Wallace fighting very hard for position there. So, hey, there's a lot of changes coming here.
5th and 6th spot back there. Meanwhile, Rutman pulls away. Give him 12 truck lengths over teammate Chuck Bound.
Let me tell you, though, if that 24 ever gets by that 99, Rutman better have him a great big lead because he's pretty fast. He's just being held up right now.
173 of 186 now complete.
You got to remember, Sprague's sitting there thinking, I don't want to mess up. I got a championship I got at stake here. So he's got to drive a little differently than the other guys.
Well, he hasn't driven like that all day, Darrell. I mean, he's run that thing everywhere.
But he hasn't been surrounded like he is right now. I mean, he's in hostile territory right now. He's surrounded by Fords.
Joe Rutman comes back.
Kenny Irwin, I'm telling you, he is all over the back of Sprague. He pushed him off turn 4 that time.
Looking for that 6th win. Rutman has that lead cut in half. It was better than a second. Now it's 6/10 as Bound is coming on again. Seen Bound run a lot. He's a great one to ease off, drive defensively for a while, cool his tires, and give it another shot. And I think those last 3 laps we saw him do that. Now he's picked it up again. Meanwhile, Lonnie Rush. Oh, that's too bad. But nobody's going to forget his name today, Darrell. He has really given this crowd an outstanding performance.
Yeah, he drove a great race. He did. He has everything to be proud of.
Well, if we get a chance in a little bit to show the right side of that 52, he's been all over the wall there and just driving his heart out right now. You can see him coming in the frame there. He's been all up against the wall. The whole right front of that truck is absolutely white where he's been in the concrete dust.
Well, that outside groove gets real friendly to you, but it gets too friendly to you, and you got to be careful. It's like running the cushion.
It's like a siren just draws you out there. Ooh, there he is back out again. Points as of now. Sprague clearing Bickle big time as they get ready for their final race. Homestead, Florida. And that great track completely rebuilt the last time we saw it a year ago.
Look at this battle here. You can see Wallace there. Boy, he's all over the Pirelli truck, the 6. They have been going side by side in every corner. You see him trying to make that outside groove work.
See, it gets you, you carry a lot of momentum, buddy, off the corner, but it takes too long. It takes too long to get up to the guy.
Bound takes another 10th back from Rutman, and he seems to do the best at turn 3. When he gets into 3, that car seems to take it set better. That truck seems to take it set better in turn 3 as it comes off there. And is apt to lose a little here in that main straightaway.
I think Sprague is just trying to hold what he's got. I think he says, look, if I can stay here, got a big point lead, I got this thing sewed up. I think he's trying to just drive his championship mode right now.
Now clipping off hundredths of a second, but no more than that, is Bound as he continues to try and close up. 3 is where it's happening. There's Mike Wallace up on that outside again, running 6, trying to move around Corelli.
Yeah, but I don't think Corelli's going to give him that outside coming off the corner. He's going to have to find some other way to try to pass.
6 laps to go. If you're just joining us, Mike Bliss broke the track record by a mile an hour from Jack Sprague a year ago. He set out in front, but from the beginning, it has been a Sprague story. He cut his way through from the 6th starting spot, dominated for a while, got to halftime. Now he finds himself after this pit stop trying to wend his way back up to the front. Darrell Waltrip here saying that championship at stake. He may be willing to settle into 3rd. He hasn't settled for anything until now.
But he does need to finish this race right where he's running to have that 180 points going into the last race in Las Vegas. So he needs to fight for this position.
Yeah, he does. And I think he's got that pretty well secured, though. He seems to me like he says, I've settled in here. Nobody's really around him now. He's got a little breathing room on either end. So he's doing the right thing. I'm sure he's being told by his crew chief and everybody else.
Bound closing. Now it's 0.3 of a second. It was 6. Bound definitely moving in on Rutman for the lead. And with him comes Sprague.
Chuck Bound's been on a dry streak for a long time. I know he would love to win in the 99 truck. He's putting all the pressure he can on Rutman. I know he wouldn't like to see anything happen to Ruttman, but if he could get by him, let me tell you, he'd go.
Oh, yes, he would.
Well, Ruttman has won this year, and, you know, Chuck hadn't, so I'm sure Chuck's thinking about, hey, man, I need to win one, too. Look good for the team.
Sprague pulls up on bound in turn 1. Ruttman gets a 10th back to 4/10 between first and second. Sprague lurking back there in third, ready to lurch around if he gets a shot. Takes that high line again in turn 3.
Well, it's going to be a nail biter, as they say. Looks to me like everybody's trying to close down on each other here.
Couple to go. Just 2 laps remaining in this one. Joe Ruttman has it covered for the moment, but not by much, as down again. Gets a little bit of a bite coming out of turn number 2 and closes down on Ruttman. Up to a truck and a half length difference between first and second as they come down for the white flag.
I think the guy that's going to really put the pressure on Sprague is that 98 truck. He is all over the back of him, and he wants that spot.
Kenny Irwin in 4th, Corelli in 5th, Michael Wallace in 6th, Saunders 7th, Miller 8th. Battle is up in front. Ruttman pulls away a bit now in turn 2.
Yeah, I think Ruttman has got a little something laid up for him, and he's using it.
Just behind Kenny Irwin, you see the half-lane shifter, Rick Corelli, trying to get by him as they head down in the corner.
Here they are coming down out of turn 4 for the final time. To the inside, Irwin, as he tries to pass Sauter, and at the line, Ruttman's going to win. His 6th career victory for Joe Ruttman, and Chuck Bound scores his best finish in the Craftsman Truck Series and 1 in the wall. There's a crash up in
Jimmy Hensley.
Jimmy Hensley. Spinning and crashing in turn 4 as we come down to the finish. Ruttman wins. Bound is in 2nd. Sprague comes across in 3rd with Kenny Irwin there in 4th. Corelli 5th. Wild finish. Joe Ruttman does it again. That will be his 4th win of 1997 for Joe Ruttman. Started the season out in great shape with that win at Orlando and that dramatic last lap battle with Sprague there. Comes back today and does it here at Phoenix International Raceway.
Well, that was an exciting race. I'm telling you, it's fun to watch. These guys do it every week.
It is a fantastic series, and those that in it don't want to leave it. Alan Bestwick down there with the crew chief.
Yeah, this is the winning crew chief, Randy Goss. Now, Randy, was it a big gamble or a little gamble to go on fuel? What was the margin there?
It was a big gamble for us. You know, the LCI Ford F-150, it ran awesome today, and the crew did a great job for us. But, you know, we needed those cautions, and those cautions weren't coming early on for us. So we gambled because we want to beat the Spragster, you know. That guy's tough, and we beat him at his own game, so we're pretty pumped.
Congratulations. Track position leads him to victory lane today. That's Randy Goss, Joe Ruttman's crew chief.
And there's the man himself. 53 years young as of this past Tuesday. Numbers don't count anymore, says Joe, except victories.
He was waiting on tables, Ken, not too terribly long ago. He was working in a restaurant, giving up on racing. And here he is, back in Victory Circle.
Tough guy.
I'm not going to get up. I'm too old.
Not going to get up there. Probably fall
Yeah,
off.
I'm too old, he said. I know how he feels.
Your 4th one of the year. Great victory.
You know, this is probably the greatest of all. You know, Chuck had that old Exide Ford digging on me. You know, it kind of surprised me. I kept looking, you know, and he was obviously holding back, and you have to congratulate him. That's probably the best run he's had all year. And for the Roush Racing trucks, I'm really excited. And for LCI, and now I can make all them free long distance calls, right, folks? Call quick. We need LCI. 888-TEAM LCI. Call them. Help me out.
How are you guys able to win this race, Joe?
Well, Jack's superb fuel economy, plus the horsepower. You know, obviously we didn't have to stop, and they work real hard on it. We give up a little on the acceleration of the truck to get us to run longer on gas. So the hat's off to the engine guys. I understand I made you feel bad. You guys in Livonia build an awesome motor. I wouldn't trade you for, what was that other name again? I won't mention that other name this time.
All right, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Boy, everybody accepts apologies when you're in Victory Circle, you know?
Everybody.
Greatest driver.
Let me tell you, he had a great truck. There's no question about it. But Joe Ruttman did not make a mistake. He drove a flawless race all day today, and hats off to him. 53 years young.
Yeah, he did a great job.
Rich Bickle did finish. They ran that truck to the end and came home in 18th spot today. Hensley's wreck up here in turn 4 has prevented Sprague from clinching the championship. Sprague leading by 177 now. Had he led by 180, he could have clinched it today.
Yeah, but good grief. I mean, he'd have to not go up there.
Take a look at what happened here at the end of this one. There's Jimmy Hensley, number 43.
Stacy Compton in the 86 on the outside there. They make contact there. You see Stacy Compton cross up. When he comes back, he makes contact with the 43 there.
That's off of turn 2, buddy, coming down the back.
Well, I'm telling about what I'm looking at.
Yeah, that's off of turn 2. Here they go right here now. This off turn 4. Yeah, I'm like you. I thought we were going to look at them off turn 4.
Well, Resendez got into that one pretty good.
That wasn't no light lick either.
Jimmy says, don't ever take me out of the truck series. Love it here. And the good news is that people like Jack Sprague and Bliss, they say, hey, we're back. This is where we want to be, racing trucks. Back at Phoenix International Raceway, where Joe Ruttman has just scored another victory, his 4th of the 1997 season, and Steve Burns has more.
Hey, Ken, what a great run for Chuck Bound. Chuck, you brought her home second. Great run.
Well, thank you very much. It was a good day for Roush Racing. I'd like to thank all the guys on the team and the ones back in Livonia that don't get to come. They work hard and get very little credit, but had a good truck today. We messed up in the first half. I had it too loose. Made some huge changes at halftime, and it was awful good in the second half. That and some good gas mileage. Wanted to beat Ruttman bad. I just couldn't quite do it. He was good today, too. It was a great day for Roush Racing and a great day for Exide and batteries and LCI, so maybe they can have this much fun tomorrow.
Well, we understand your wife is here, who is working our broadcast, Debbie. Debbie, what was it like watching Chuck?
Well, I was trying to do my job, and our director, Gary Clem, he kept saying, you know, stuff about Chuck, and I said, just leave me alone. I'm trying to work. It's a little bit tough, but I keep my eye on him all the time.
All right, duty first. Let's go to Alan Bestwick.
All right, we are here with Jack Sprague, who has just climbed from his machine. Jack, when Jimmy Hensley got into the wall on the last lap, it gave Rich Bickle one position that kept you from actually holding the championship trophy right now. But you go to Las Vegas, just start the race, and you're the champion. How do you feel?
Well, I feel great. I tell you, Jimmy Johnson, my buddy, Johnny Hendrick, Rick Hendrick, Papa Joe, everybody back there at Motorsports, and all the fans for buying Quaker State Oil. I can't say enough. I mean, they made it possible for Quaker State to sponsor us, and they've been a great sponsor over the last 2 years, but we do need a sponsor for next year. So anybody that's looking to sponsor something, here's a championship truck. Awesome team. I got an awesome team, Dennis Conner and all the guys. I just can't say enough about anybody.
Let's talk about the last part of the race. You come in and get a splash of fuel. Ruttman and Bound stay on the racetrack. Now you're trying to get by them. You got Kenny Irwin kind of nosing around there, your back bumper, trying to get by you, and you're not wanting to get something that's going to wrinkle this truck up. What are you thinking?
Well, like I said, we were awful strong out front, but behind the Fords, I was real tight. And, you know, I'd like to thank Kenny for racing me clean. I've been on him pretty hard lately, but he's been, you know, doing things I don't necessarily agree with, but that's not to say it's right. So he raced me clean. He didn't touch me, and I appreciate it. And came home third. If we could have got second, it'd be over, but it's over as far as I'm concerned. I can sleep now.
There you go. Congratulations on a great run in the championship to come. That's Jack Sprague. He starts the race in Las Vegas next week. He is the 1997 champion. Ken?
Yep. Next week, Vegas wraps it up. What a great year. Hey, the Plastic Cord Award, Baker.
Well,
take care of this, the winning finish.
What a great race today, and congratulations to the winners there.
Randy Goss, yep, certainly deserving. Fine job. Hey, points. Here's how they look as they head off to the final race of the year at Vegas. Jack Sprague, number 1. Rich Bickle there. He's pretty much got to crank it up next week, but they'll be racing hard because if he thinks he's got it wrapped up, he'll just go for the whole business next week. Joe Ruttman 3rd, Mike Bliss 4th, Hornaday 5th in the points. Some 50,000 out here today. Phoenix International Raceway saw a great truck race. It was just as good as we had hoped it could be. And Joe Ruttman comes out victorious. Let's take a look at the final standings in today's event with Bound in 2nd. Great finish for him. Best in his career in the truck series. Jay Sauter came back to 7th. Mike Bliss had to settle for 10th after being on the pole.
You know, I'm just looking in 5th there at Rick Corelli. He did a great job today. You see Toby Butler there in 12th.
But what about Tommy Hubert, too, from way in the rear? Great run.
Great run, 11th today. And, you know, this goes to show you that sometimes a veteran driver can do all the right things, and it pays off in the sport of auto racing. And Joe Ruttman stays in great shape. And Dick Trickle, don't ever count him out in a race. He's 56 years young, too, so these guys always have a good chance to win anytime they get on the racetrack.
Joe Ruttman was 18 years old when he made his Winston Cup debut. We were there in 1963, Riverside, California. And on that day, he finished 10th. Now, 34 years later, he wins here at Phoenix. Hey, next weekend, next Saturday, join us for the finale to the All-Pro Championship Series.